Hello, I'm Mark Sumner, host of the Channel Chat podcast show, and today I have the pleasure of John Nolan, the channel director at Bitdefender, in the studio for Europe, Middle East and Ireland. Is that right, John?
Yeah, well, Northern Europe and Middle East. So, yeah.
I get it right. Now, normally, John, when a guest comes in the studio, I start scouring their LinkedIn profile.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll go right to the bottom and I think, what did they do before they actually got into sales or when they got into tech? And I looked at your degree and I thought, why did John do a degree in humanities? Because that's not really a career in IT sales. So kick me off there. What were you thinking when you actually did that?
So, long answer short, I wanted to go to a good uni with shit grades. and that's where I was. So, fundamentally, I wanted to go to a decent uni, well-established uni. I was told that that's probably better than going to do the degree you want at the uni, at a newer uni. But a more established uni, just get into that. It looks better on the CV. And I didn't think anyone would be looking into it 22 years later. So for me, Brunel, there was a couple I wanted to look at. Like Brunel was definitely one of them. Loughborough, because of the sporting background. Brunel had like 9 football teams. They were near enough to London for it to be exciting, but close enough to home to get my washing done. So it was that kind of balance. And I had a couple of pals that went to uni at Brunel before me. And I absolutely loved it. So it was getting into the university. And humanities isn't kind of necessarily the history and geography that it was more around the kind of faculty of English and those kind of things. So I did a lot of English language, literature, but it also gave me the opportunity to do a dissertation on film studies around Martin Scorsese. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I sort of blagged my way into a good uni and had a lot of fun. And I was hoping no one would ever find that out.
Yeah, well, it's now public now. And obviously on LinkedIn. Now, again, looking at LinkedIn this morning, I was thinking, right, phones for you. So talk me about that career, because you'd obviously done your degree. Yeah, How did your career kick off?
Like most people, you go to uni thinking, I've got 3 years to work out what I want to do. And then all of a sudden, you're graduating and you don't know what you want to do. So fortunately for me, I had a couple of friends. This is kind of a recurring theme in my career. A couple of good friends that had moved into Phones for You, and an opportunity came up to start working in a sales enablement team, a sort of training team to almost make that career a bit more professional. I think Phones for You had a bit of a challenge with reputation of a bit of a used car salesman, and no disrespect to any of those industries, but I think it was a bit intimidating environment. Jack the Lad, this kind of thing, and I think they wanted to build a kind of university fast track program for sales professionals, and I was kind of used as a guinea pig to start that process off. Taken into the sales training team, very quick induction up the ladder, working in some of our flagship stores for 6 months, understanding the systems, and then working with external consultancies to build a training program to develop and onboard all our sales staff in through a sales university, we called it. Type.
Had you gone into sales yourself then? Because was that a career you were thinking actually I was going to do?
No, honestly, sales scared the life out of me. And so I left uni and I was planning to travel to do that thing. Turns out the travel was 2 weeks in Magaluf. But I'd planned to do a big kind of round see the world a bit. But the friend, we'd booked the tickets. He then got a job as a teacher. I was too scared to go on my own, so I didn't. And then this came up. But I thought, I've got nothing to lose here. This scares the life out of me. Moving, I had to move from home up to Manchester, totally alien lifestyle,
environment, different.
Everything was very different and intimidating for me. But within, a couple of days, I just loved it. It was scary, but good scary, that kind of feeling where you're like, I'm going 100 miles an hour here, and if I can keep up, it's exciting. So I just sort of grabbed on and ran with it.
Because you stayed there a long time as well, so you must have thought you could pave yourself a career there. So what made you stay that long? Was it 10 years?
9 years, 9.5 years. So it was very varied. The industry moved so quickly. Like mobiles in that time was like the fastest growing industry. It was going from when I joined, maybe half the people who came into the shop didn't have a mobile, were getting their first phone. And I think we can all remember our first tariff where we've gone in and signed up for a contract. They said it's going to be 30 quid if you use 3 minutes. If you go over 3 minutes, it's going to be £600.
Yeah.
So we've all gone into shops going, why is my bill lit? So it was the industry was booming, and people needed, to understand how a tariff worked, how phones worked, how minutes worked, how texts worked. And I think in that short space of time from when I started working there, where we sold home phones, mobile phones, all those kind of things. By the time I finished, no one had heard of it. No one used home phones anymore. No one was coming in for their first phone. Everyone was upgrading to Apple, huge. We saw the advent of Apple. So the industry moved so quick. That period of time went very, very rapidly. I changed roles many times, went into product training, sales training, management of certain technology partners and things like that. So I got to do quite a lot of account management, business development management, and those kind of aspects of a CV that I felt at the time, my kind of resume looks okay now. I've not just sort of worked in a shop for 10 of those years. It was very varied roles, management roles, and like I said, account management, business, the things that you can then go and apply to other industries.
And talking about the industries, you must have been, 30, 32, then you took the plunge to go into broadline IT and your first role into distribution. So tell me about how that came about, because that's your first integration into the world of IT.
Well, I wasn't desperate to leave Phones for You at the time. It was lucky that I did, because a year later they went under. So it's quite fortuitous. But I wasn't desperate to leave, but I thought I needed to chat. And it was that kind of end of the year. I thought I'm going to hand my CV into a couple of recruitment agencies, see what's out there, maybe push myself a little bit, maybe even, if we're being honest, try and leverage some more money or what out of Phones for You, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then I went through the process with the recruitment agency. I'd never done that before. I'd never really understood, again, there's that kind of anxiety where you're selling yourself. I'm not very good at that. So going through that with the recruiters, they put a few things in front of me, and I thought, well, I'll go and have a look at see what they've got to say. And I went to Computer Links was the third interview I went to, and I met with probably some industry legends that you've met and worked with, but I was just blown away by the culture of the place and the feel from the office. I was used to on the road all the time. I was used to being in a different place every day, staying over hotels. This was an office that was down the road from where I lived, with a lot of people that I knew that had worked there and really enjoyed it. So I had a lot of friends that had Newmarket's a small town. So a lot of friends that had worked within Computer Links. And then I just really, really warmed to it straight away. And then I think eye-opening was when sort of offer came through and you think, wow, this, I thought retail was good money. I thought sales, you see what you can earn in IT. And then the rest was,